After a skinny win for the Europa League, Benfica filled their belly with a goal gluttony against Vizela. But what Benfica will we have in France? The hungry Benfica or the keto Benfica? That and much more. And another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero um manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio e assustá-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Law Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. With you always, with me also, Dave de Oliveira. What's happening, Dave?
What's going on, Alfredo? Good to be back on here tonight. Freddie's already active in the chat, so shout out to the Freddies who are already ready. I don't know if we want to. Is this a therapy session? Maybe after Thursday's game would have been a therapy session, but I think we're nice and full, like you said after the performance on Sunday.
Yeah.
But good to be back on.
Also with us, the man, the myth, the legend, Cristiano Oliveira. Como é que é, Cristiano? Tudo bem?
Well, I don't know so much about the legend. I mean, I'm gonna have to come up with the Nets performance on this podcast because I've been bypassed by David de Oliveira in the introduction. You know, Dave, you're second now. I mean, I'm gonna have to come up with a performance.
It's
You see that, Dave?
It's the presence that counts. The appearance counts. I think Dave has surpassed you now. So Dave gets to get introduced second and you third.
Dave, I'm gonna pull the Nets. I'm not passing the ball today, bro. I gotta perform. Pressure's on me today. What's going on, Freddies? Welcome. Thank you for joining the Benfica podcast once again. Smash the like button.
Smash the like button. Let me go ahead and say quite a couple people that I've never seen before. Mel Geish's annoying accent reviews. Vamos embora. Tony Fig. Diogo Reis. Bilac da Silva. That's a new one. Welcome.
Didn't we have a player, Bilac?
No,
we had a player named.
No, that was
a
singer.
The little Moroccan guy, or whatever, he came from PSV or Ajax.
Remember? It wasn't.
You know
it wasn't Bilac. It was Bilal.
Oh, Bilac, estás a ver?
Jason Gaidola, Manny Valadão, vamos embora. They're all here. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. On tap for tonight, we're going to recap the Toulouse game. We're also going to recap the 6-1 win against Vizela. And we'll wrap it up by looking at the second leg at France and also Portimonense, which comes up this weekend. So thank you for being here. For those of you who are watching live, thanks for your presence. For those of you who are going to listen later or watch it later on YouTube, thank you for spending some time with us. We certainly appreciate that. Let's get ready. Go ahead, Chris.
Alfredo, just got to say, this Mel Geish's annoying accent review, this guy's got to be from the tri-state area.
He says long-time listener on the podcast, first time live.
Yeah, exactly. He's that. You know where that comes from, right? Mike and the Mad Dog. First time, long time. Yeah.
No, that's
so he's got to be a tri-state area guy. He's got to be a Mike and the Mad Dog guy. Because that's where he became famous. First time, long time, first or whatever. So watch, I'm telling you, he's gonna be around here.
Bilac is Bob the Builder.
Bob the
Hey, it's like when your kids are watching Dora the Explorer, and then all of a sudden Dora grows up. There's Bilac. He was Bob the Builder. Now he's a little older, so now he's Bilac da Silva. Bob the Builder, Bilac da Silva. That sounds pretty good. That rhymes. I don't know. Does it? Anyway,
sounds like Portuguese politics.
Let's get into this Toulouse game. Benfica opened up their Europa League knockout stages against Toulouse at Stade Toulouse this past Thursday. Trubin was in goal. Auschner, Silva, Otamendi, and Carreras. Neves and Coxu were in the middle. Di Maria, João Mario, Rafa, and Cabral were the 11 that Roger Schmidt lined up with. Expected to see Carreras? Yes. Didn't expect to see João Mario. Maybe Ba, right? But I do understand that Ba is coming off an injury, so he's taking his sweet time and getting him back and making sure that he's not logging in a lot of minutes. So Auschwitz was again on the right-hand side of the defense, which is not uncommon, as you guys know. Controlling, look, the story of the game, there's not much to the story of the game. Benfica controlling the game, first half. Rafa hits the crossbar at 38. Lots of possession for Benfica.
That was a mistake, bro. He didn't mean that shit. He lollipopped it.
He shanked it off his
shin.
shin.
He lollipopped it. He lollipopped it. I don't think he meant that. Honestly, I think it was just like, hey, mas vai, continua.
And despite Benfica controlling the half in terms of possession and initiative, there wasn't much in terms of chances being created. That one in particular is probably the one that I remember. Second half, Benfica comes back for the second half. In the 59th minute, Neres comes in for João Mario. Ba comes in for Carrera, which didn't have a very good first half, but I don't think anybody on the Benfica team had a stellar first half. But Carreras, he's still learning. He's a lot better going forward than he is defending. I think that we were all going to know that. I think even when Grimaldo first joined the team, that was the thing that he had. He was much better going forward because the teams that these guys have come from, especially as kids, right? Grimaldo came from Barca. Carreras came from Real Madrid, even though he spent some time at Coruña. That's where he got started. But these are teams that are
Man
just...
United. He came from Man United.
But before Man United, where did he come from?
Tá bem. Same as he came from United.
But we can make the same comparison, right? The comparison is that they're used to teams that are always on the attack, so their defensive game doesn't get worked on or doesn't get tested as much when you're playing for a team that all they have this volume of attack. So look, it's good to get minutes out there. Like I said, 60.
All right, thanks. That was a pretty good roundup of the game, Alfredo. Today we can just go home now, right?
No,
let's leave it off on a positive note. Yeah.
No,
moving on to the next game.
No, I wanted to. I didn't even change the topic here, but I wanted to say something. I just want to wrap it up real quick. 68 minute PK for Di Maria put us up 1-0. PK that kind of fell out of the sky, literally, right? A little bit of a dumbhead move by the defender of Toulouse, jumping with his arm forward, ended up hitting the ball with his arm, and it was a penalty kick. And Benfica would go ahead. 75th minute, 1-1. A lot of ball watching by Benfica, allowing Toulouse to get that goal with a player coming up on the far post, second post, all clear of marking and able to get that goal, the tying goal. 87th minute, Marcos Leonardo comes in for Cabral, and 90+7. Another dumbhead play by the Toulouse defender, stepping on Marcos Leonardo this time. Di Maria put it away, and Benfica walked away with a 2-1 lead. Underperformance against the team that is that's struggling in France. And that is a much lower level than Benfica, if you will, right? I think that Benfica had, on paper, they should have done a lot better than what they did against this Toulouse. They should have gone to France with the fixture already settled, but it wasn't meant to be. Anyway, 2-1. We now take it Thursday to France. Dave, you have any stats on this? You guys want to talk about? We could talk about this. What our expectations are for the second leg.
Well, yeah. Oh, Chris, what do you? Before I get into some stats, what do you got anything to chime in? You're laughing there.
Chris just wants to move
No,
on to the
no.
next topic.
No, no. I mean, já fizeste o trabalho todo, meu amigo. Now it's time to go on. Look, I guess before David gets to the stats, the only thing I would say is because you've already resumed the whole game so beautifully, I'll just say that the best thing to come out of this game was the 8-year-old interview on Sam TV afterwards talking about the dream. That's the best thing I could come up with because the rest of the game was a snooze fest. As you said, 2 chances, 2 penalties came out of Lucelle. Roger Schmidt still doesn't understand how he won this game. And look, I'd rather just talk about the interview from the little kid because I'm going to save most of my criticism from Roger Schmidt because I think I've done a whole lot of that in the last few podcasts. But I'm going to save that for the next game because, again, you can criticize, and he states it after the next game himself that, well, no matter what I do, I'm going to be criticized. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you take on a big team job. But we'll get into that in a second. So, yeah, I think referring back to this game, the best thing to come out was that interview. I thought that little kid resumed everything perfectly, just like you did right now with your explanation of what went on in this game. Não muito mais a dizer. You know what I mean? Benfica was expected to dominate this game. Not dominate, but I should say was expected to put this team away. This what do you call it? Whatever the 2-legged affair away. Should have come away with a comfortable win, but Benfica played like Diogo Reis says, and it's something I was trying to put it myself into those words. But yeah, Benfica played not to lose. They played against Toulouse, not to lose, and it was just one of those boring, uninspired performances by Benfica that if, God forbid, we don't get a positive result in Toulouse, France, in the second leg, we're going to be looking back at this first leg as just another disappointment. But at the end of the day, nobody really cared about it because everyone's just so focused in winning the Campeonato because we've seen that that's all everyone cares about is winning the Campeonato, that these European competitions become secondary. But how about I mean, just it's a little bit of the same. I mean, you just repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It just week after week. But then going into the next game, kind of surprises all. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, coming into this game was just Vito di Stocco mesmo. Team was uninspired. Very few changes, very few goal occasions. You talk about that Rafa. I think again, I don't even think he meant that, or he shanked it or whatever you want to use. And it just, I used the word already 3 times at least. And I'm gonna use it more times. It's very uninspiring, and it's sad as a Benfica to sit there. You put so much energy into changing your life, or not changing your life, but changing things around your life to make sure that you're in front of a TV or you're going to the stadium, whatever it is, however it is that you listen or watch the games, and you see these performances, and the coach is sitting on the sideline, as the kid said, with his hands in his pocket, dreaming that he's up 4-0, daydreaming. You know what I mean? I think honestly that was the best thing to come out of that day. That little kid's interview.
That was a classic.
That kid, he should be on Benfica FM or Benfica Independent. Should get him a microphone. That kid's phenomenal.
Yeah, we need to clip that audio clip and add it to the soundboard too.
Yeah,
use it as a drop.
Tinha as mãos bolsas e estava sonhando a ganhar 4-0. It was awesome. That was awesome.
No, it's going to go down as one of those clips that everybody will regurgitate every now and again, just like that clip of that guy that when we play Porto, vamos foder esses filhos da puta, yeah, so that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a classic clip. That illustrates what Roger Schmidt is basically been. Very calm.
I don't know what game. I don't know. Sometimes I question what game I watch. If I watch the game upside down, or some of our Freddies watch, because SOB's EES was saying, "Come on, guys, Benfica had 19 shots on goal in the first 60 minutes."
When?
I mean,
what game?
You want to tell me?
I
don't know what game he's talking about.
Toulouse had one shot all game. Hey,
yeah,
is the one that counted.
And the one that counted is the one off of a coach's decision to put Austin as a left back, and Austin's ball wide. And again, like I said, I'm going to say my criticisms later on, but again, that's
wait, come on. If you're going to save your criticisms for a game that we won 6-1 and not a game that we squeaked.
Yeah, there's plenty. Dave, if you're going to criticize, do it when you're on top, not when you're on the bottom. If you're going to cry about something.
This is what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, though. We're we're a bunch of, what is it, Finnical, or we're just picking at stones here. When we won 6-1, and we're still gonna criticize the guy. I know I'm in the minority.
You're jumping ahead. You're jumping
I'm in the
ahead.
minority, but I think this is gonna be. I'm already shaping up that I have to defend Roger on a 6-1 victory.
Dave, what you're doing right now is a red card offense. You are premature ejaculating right now. It's a red card offense. You have no clue what I'm going to say yet, but you're being critical of it. So let's hold down on the premature, thingamajig, and we'll get to that. Let's talk about Toulouse, because I'm pretty sure Capitan wants his stats. But I'm still trying to find. Dave, find me those 19 shots in the first half.
I don't remember that, dude.
Were there 19 attempts? Because shots on goal, I don't recall.
I'm seeing that there was only 15 all game, but let me see. I gotta check a couple of other sites here because I'm not seeing 19 on first half here.
Yeah, I don't.
Moon says, God bless that kid's dad. Very intelligent kid, and he was not a day older than 10. Exactly. That was the best thing. That little kid was, bro. He could take some of the guys' jobs on CMTV. He's
ready. He's ready, dude. I don't remember Benfica having that many shots. 19 shots and 18 of them were blocked. Dave, go on.
Hold on. But those aren't shots then.
Well, that's the only explanation I can find. I swear I don't remember that many shots.
I care about shots on goal that actually make it to the goal, not a shot that you take and hits a corner flag. I don't care about those shots. If you're doing that, you're not really creating much.
SLBES is saying the announcer said they had 19 shots on goal around the 60-minute mark. Dave, you up on the stats yet or no?
No, Dave just told you.
I'm on goal point here. Wait, no, I'm checking goal point.
I don't think goal point has UEFA stats. You'd be better off.
Well, at halftime they had 12 shots.
Benfica had 12 shots.
12 shots.
They needed.
How many were on goal?
They needed was 7 shots more in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah,
if we're gonna go with what SOBs is saying. Right.
Only one on goal, though. I had so 12 and only one on goal.
The one on crossbar. The one on the crossbar.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count as a shot on goal.
No.
No, I don't know why. That's crazy. I always say, so if you hit a post but it's not on goal.
I would say the posts are the limits of goal. Everything else.
No, but it's apparently it doesn't count. It doesn't count a shot on goal.
Yeah. Let me. Chris, Melgicius is from Coimbra, still living in Aljubarrota. I just like to listen to you guys. Oh, we appreciate that.
Where's Aljubarrota? I'm not too far from Coimbra.
Não conheces a padeira de Aljubarrota?
Nem o padeiro conheço.
A big important battle in Aljubarrota. Perhaps one of the biggest battles in Portugal was in Aljubarrota. You gotta research
that might have been a little bit before my time, Alfredo. I have a feeling it was before my time.
Yeah.
So, so Aljubarrota is in Coimbra?
It's close by, I think. It's
Every time we get into the geography.
Gente, não somos bons em geography. Melgicius, if you listen to this podcast, you know we're not good at geography, man. We're not good. Melgicius says Carreras provides similar option as Grimaldo, but still innocuous in the final third. Epá, cuidado com essas palavras, pá.
Mas ele disse it's near Alcobaça. But Alcobaça is not in Coimbra. Isn't Alcobaça like in Lisbon or something like that?
No, Alcobaça is a little bit.
No, not Lisbon.
It's a little bit. It's central. It's central.
Malgueish, ajuda a gente, bro. Like, see, I'm from a little town in Aveiro. I don't go tell you the name of the town because you're never gonna know what it is. So I just say Aveiro.
Quem é que não conhece a gafanha de Nazaré, the Portugal's porn capital? Everybody knows that.
So that's why Chris has OnlyFans.
Portugal's capital of porn is in Gafanha. Everybody knows that.
Alcobaça e sem esperto Nazaré. I'm
tá bom,
lost,
pronto,
bro.
então tá isso.
Yeah.
A Nazaré é o pé do mar, Chris.
Man,
That's all you need to know.
man, which Nazaré? Gafanha da Nazaré?
Não,
That's
Nazaré,
up there.
Nazaré.
The beach.
Nazaré.
Manny Valadão says geography and Portuguese history in this pod gets sketchy.
No, man.
LOL.
That's why we don't, we don't try.
Okay. Alcobaça's in Leiria. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Aradas, Cristiano. What the hell is Aradas? Eu tô fudido. Yeah, eu. Guys, I struggle with
I think he
Portuguese
means
and English, bro. You
Carradas.
guys- Carradas, the striker?
Yeah.
No shit.
Nuno M is saying, hey, Nuno, long time no speak, man. Is it possible to start and finish a game with proper fullbacks? I don't know. Is it? It's anybody's guess. Nuno also says, God bless that kid. That very intelligent. I think you read that already. That is very intelligent.
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
was a day older than 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was dressed to the nines, right? Scarf on his head, kit, everything.
Yeah, the only thing that messed up that shot was that dude coming through and screaming. Had he not, because that would have been a perfect clip. That little dude, he put it perfectly, man.
Yeah.
He put it perfectly. Roger Schmidt at times leaves a lot to be desired. And as I've said, and again, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to, I don't want to continue to toot my own horn, but as I've said on many podcasts here in the past, and I've noticed that now it's starting to be a trend among social media. And I'm not saying I'm the starter, but I've been saying this for a long time, which is it takes a moment of individual brilliance to salvage a game for Benfica. It is not the collective of the team. It's a moment of brilliance by one of our best players on the field that's able to decide a game. And Rodgers being bailed out this time, it wasn't even a moment of brilliance by any of the players. It was more a moment of stupidity from the opponent deciding to jump up with his arm. I just don't understand. If that was my center back, I'd fine him. And I'd sit him, or I'd sit his ass for a couple of weeks until he learned his lesson.
You pulled it.
Yeah,
Tornell.
just
Remember Tornell?
And then, yeah, of course, Sporting. And then you go back, you fast forward to that one in the 90, whatever it was, minute, where he just happens to step. I don't think it was intentional, but again, intention or no intention, it's a penalty. It's a clear penalty. And again, Benfica comes away, and Roger Schmidt walks away from this game with a 2-1 victory. Very sick, very dry, right? But again, at the end of the day, a win is a win.
A win is a win.
And you move on, and the draw in the road is going to be enough to get you on to the next round. But again, it just leaves a lot of questions. Roger Schmidt, in a game that you absolutely have to win against a team that you are expected to win, you are expected to be at home, at the start of the Toulouse, needing a goal, takes out a striker to bring in another striker in the 88th minute. And then, as dumb as that move might have sounded to you, he gets bailed out by that same player, getting stepped on 4 minutes later. It's like, oh, genius. And it's like, my man, he has got the shiny star on his side because, bro, that to me, I don't know what to call it. Like, you go from having the script ready to rip him apart, and then he gets bailed out by that penalty. You're like, oh, genius. See, I put him in and he created a penalty. I knew what I was doing. It's still a very uninspiring victory, but he gets bailed out.
Yeah.
Dave, my man, he must light up all of the candles at the cathedral before every game because he gets every break, it seems.
It was good to see that stomp call called against us because you never get that in Portugal, right?
For us.
It always gets called against. It gets called against.
Not
us.
Against us.
Against us
It got
with
called
the
for
red
us.
card but never for us. So it's good to see that those calls exist for us.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to complain, but there we go, Chris. You said you were going to save your criticisms for the next game, but we finally got it out of you. There was some criticism Rogers' way.
Well, you know how it is. You get me rambling. You're gonna get stuff out.
You give me a rope.
I'm easy, bro. I'm easy. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
give me a talk.
You give Chris a rope when you realize it's 10:30.
Nah, you don't give me a rope. I'm never gonna hang myself. I'm afraid I always find a way to give myself a knot and get out of it. But
Chris, you ever seen those the bullfights in Ilha Terceira where they tie the ropes on the bull?
Yes.
It's like you.
Yes.
We give you the rope and you just go and fucking gore everyone. That's what you do.
Or is he the bull? Or is Cristiano
he's the bull. Chris
No,
is
I'm
like
the
a
bull, and I
in a
just got a
china
rope.
shop.
I got a rope to
he's-
fake the funk. Like, yeah, we're gonna reel them in, but yeah, the bull. Dave, I guess Dave's never really seen because the bull's got the rope and they're supposed to like hold him back, but he goes bananas.
you reel him in when
Like-
he's getting way too far. You reel him in. That's what you have to do with Chris. You give him rope, let him go, let him go gore some guys, go hit some guys, like a bull in a china shop. And then when you need to bring Chris back in, you just tug on a rope. Here he comes.
But I'm not goring anybody. I think what I'm saying is realistic and it's honest. I think
but if I
it's
would
anyone that's watching.
If I have to say something, I would say that you kind of you're not goring, but you're definitely poking on Roger Schmidt.
No, but it's not. Again, a poke is when you might be the only one that's seeing something and you're poking somebody, right?
Yeah.
But I think this is something that's there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
I think this team is not played up to the level that we all expect. I think this team had, as I said before, a very weak performance against a club that, with all due respect, they're playing in the French league, yada, yada, yada. And you put them in the Portuguese league, they probably wouldn't be in 16th place like they are in Ligue 1. But at the same time, with all that being said, you still expected to handle this team at home. The key thing is at home.
Yeah. Comfortably.
Yeah, we didn't create any scoring chances. I mean, it was just a lot of back and forth.
A lot sideways passing.
Toma. And then, again, Roger Schmidt puts in a guy that's been playing right back all year. Now you put him at left back. He gets ball. And again, whether it was a fortuitous bounce or not, credit to the dude to get the ball on net and score that goal. It was a nice finish by him. But our left back was ball watching because he is not accustomed to playing in that position.
Right.
But Roger Schmidt insists on having this guy on the field every single second of every single game. And so he'll move everyone around, right? But instead of moving the people that need to be at the right place, he just decides to move everyone else around rather than have people in their comfortable places. And it's like, I'm not trying to be negative because at the end of the day, the believers, the defenders, are going to tell me I'm the one that's crazy because, look, at the end of the day, it's another W, right? And then you see the tweets and whatever it is, that he's the winningest coach of all time, because people are just, look, at the end of the day, the most important thing is getting the W. And as long as he keeps getting these individual performances and then these miracle penalties out of nowhere, and he keeps stacking up the W's, we're all going to be content. But I'm a guy that I look further down the line a lot, and I'm preoccupied based on the way the team is playing because I think I made these words famous here on the podcast over the years. It is easy or easier to do these such things against Monkus. Against Monkus, it's very easy. Let me see it when the competition level goes up. And then things aren't going to come so easy. And so, look, there's huge importance on winning this campeonato. Sporting is hitting on all cylinders. And Benfica, even though they're still getting away with the 3 points, but it's not clean. And there's a lot there that needs to be cleaned up. There's a lot there that this coach and this team can work on. And you hope that they do, Dave. You understand? This has been months now. This is not game 4, game 5. They're still kicking out the kinks and straightening things out. Right? This is already, we're almost in March. Okay? There's 2.5 months left of the season. And we're still going through the struggles at this point that we went through at the beginning of the season. We've brought in new players to strengthen this roster, to give this man more options, because God knows at the end of last season, the dudes were absolutely dead. And he's not getting the best out of these guys. He's still not using these guys. And so in a game like this, where it's an opportunity for him to play the kid left back, who you now on your second choice left back, or whatever, your second acquisition, because you got Jurassic and then this guy, and you're still not playing him. And then you're making dumb substitutions. When you need goals, you're taking out strikers. You're taking out your goal scorer. Like, it's just like, what's going on? And so I get what you're saying, Dave. We won the game. We move on. But there are red flags, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red flags, and like Hugo, and I'm gonna finish real quick. And like Hugo
Puxa
likes
aí
to
a
tell
corda,
me,
Dave. Puxa a corda.
no, I'm just last point. Like Hugo tells me on a daily basis because we talk daily, and his famous words are, "Bro, no game is alike." All right, every game's different. Just because they weren't up for this game doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to be up for the next game and the game after that. I understand, but there are signs, right, that things aren't going well, and this coach is unwilling to change.
Well, the biggest
And
thing is that when you perform like that, you're much closer to losing games than you are of winning games. And I think this is all what we're kind of really hesitant about this whole thing. But at the end of the day, if Benfica wins this championship, right? If Benfica wins this championship, the only thing that people are going to remember is that you beaten your direct rivals every single time, because you're going to need to do that in order to win the championship. If you do win the championship, nobody's going to remember these miserable performances, but everybody's going to remember that he's beaten Braga, he's beaten Sporting, he's beaten Porto. And now we got the second leg with a game against Sporting on the horizon, a couple games against Sporting on the horizon. And if we win the championship, that's all we're going to remember Roger Schmidt by. In the season where he didn't play that well, he beat our main rivals, and that made the difference. Let me read some comments here. Diogo Reis says, shot attempts are like going to the dance and saying, epá, ela quase que me levou para casa.
who said that?
Diogo Reis.
Diogo Reis.
Diogo Reis
Man,
bringing a funny.
He always does on Instagram and on here.
SLBES Coimbra, greatest city in Portugal. Let's see what else we got here. SLBES, now that we have Neres back, I'm hoping for a better second half of the season. No comment. Yeah, but for that, he's gonna have to be used. I've said it here, and you guys have heard it, especially this season, right? That we're stacked. That Roger's biggest challenge is to manage the squad, to get all the guys in that are supposed to be in, to use them in the right positions, to manage some of the egos, and to give playing time to the guys that really make a difference. And we're not talking about, Auschwitz has done great, but does Auschwitz need to play every single game? Does João Mario need to play every single game? What are your expectations? What are you guys' expectations in terms of this second leg in Toulouse? Do you think we're just going to go there and manage the game? Do you think that Toulouse is going to be a little overeager because they felt they got the short end of the stick with 2 penalties? They were quite aggravated at the end of the game. The president was very aggravated. So do you think they're going to have a chip on their shoulders? Dave, I'll start with you. Do you think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder? Do you think they're going to give Benfica less respect because they don't have anything to lose? And sorry.
No pun intended.
What do you think, Dave?
I think they've already shown in the first leg that they can hang in with the big boys, so to say. So they really, again, don't have anything to lose, and they should just continue playing the way they played, right? Because the only chance that they had in that first leg, they capitalized on it. So a couple of chances like that, and if our defense is caught sleeping, it's going to be a long day here for us. And how we got to approach it, I would just continue on, come out on the attacking foot. Don't sit back and play like you've got the advantage, which you do, but you need to go and build on that advantage, because we've seen in the past when this team puts it in cruise control, they tend to concede, and then we're playing catch up in the final stages of matches, which we shouldn't against a lesser opposition like Toulouse here. So hopefully the team's able to put some goals in the first half, and then able to put it into somewhat of a cruise control in the second half here. But if it's still 0-0, or if we're down at halftime, something's gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, Chris, do you see Neres starting this game?
That's a good question. But probably not. Probably not, because he's going to insist on Houston as João Mario. Di Maria calls the shots. he's going to want to play. And so Neres is going to be the guy missing out unless he decides to sit Rafa, which I don't see that as well.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately for the Neres, I know he had a tremendous game over the weekend. But yeah, I just based on I'm going based on what I've seen this coach do over the last 8 months, right? And what he's done, what his decisions indicate to me is that Neres is unfortunately going to be the guy missing out. I just don't see him all of a sudden just having this switch go off in his head, like, oh, by the way, I got these great guys. Let me give these other guys a break. I just don't see it because at the end of the day, Benfica can't go into Toulouse and lose this game. I think that with their performance at the start of Toulouse, they've allowed this team to believe that they can hang in there, that they can play with Benfica. And they're going to think, look at what we've done in their stadium. Yes, we didn't create much offensively, but that was by design. We wanted to sit back and them on a counter. We knew they were favored, and the pressure was all on them, and we were able to come out, with the 2-1 deficit. Yeah. Now going home, we should be able to overturn it. So this team is going home believing.
Right.
And I think Benfica has the obligation to obviously come out of this knockout matchup into the next round. And Roger Schmidt is going to think about that. So he's going to play his regular 11 because that's what he's done all year long. He's going to be the same guy.
Yeah.
Jean Marty's going to play because of reasons just like Nuno M is saying in the chat, which is crazy. Nuno, I love you, but this idea that Di Maria can't play, that this guy can't play, and it's something that's bothered me. This is a pet peeve of mine, right? That in today's modern football, people are so infatuated with the defensive side of the ball that they forget that in order to win a soccer game, a football game, to win a basketball game, a hockey game, whatever the freaking game a team game you're playing, you must score, right? You have to score. And so the David Neres of this world need to play. They're the guys that give magic, that give the beautiful moments of the game. And everybody's so infatuated with, well, they don't track back. I mean, guys, if this was football, there would be no Ronaldinho, no Messi, no Maradona, no Cristiano Ronaldo. Look, man, I get it. It's a new way of football, but there is room on the field for the David Neres and the Di Maria and a Rafa, right? Especially against a team like this. I understand if you're going out to play Liverpool or Real Madrid, I get it. Now you want to maybe pull the real things in. I get it. But in a game like this, why not? Why not go out there? Bro, you win 4-3. A win's a win, right? 3 points. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. Do we know what João Neves' status is for the game? I know we haven't touched upon it in the podcast, but his mother passed away yesterday. So is he going to be available for Thursday? Because you could slot João Mario in the center there, and then that opens up a wing spot for Neres and Di Maria there.
Yeah, so they so from what I've read, right, they had the wake of Lório today. And I think usually it's the next day. Well,
next day. Yeah, in Portugal the next day.
The burial's next day. Obviously, I don't know if she's getting buried or if she's getting cremated. I'm not really sure. And, take this opportunity to express our condolences to both him and Tony Silva for their losses. But I don't know, Dave. That's a great question because if the burial is tomorrow, depending when Benfica usually travels in the morning to France when they go away to France to get the early evening workout in or adaptation training in to the pitch. So I don't know. I really don't know how that's going to work out.
No, but the early morning the day before though. So that means they're traveling
right,
tomorrow.
They're traveling tomorrow, right? But
yes. So if the funeral's tomorrow, safe to say he's not going to be on that trip.
That's the thing, and that's the thing that we got to look at right now. And I'll be surprised if he is. And I certainly, I think that as somebody, you kind of need to give kids, and this is a kid we're talking about, right? A moment to process. And I think that there's a lot of times that guys will say, well, my mom would have wanted me to play. I want to be back on the field. But you also got to give people time to process these losses. And especially for a kid so young that doesn't have the life experience yet to be able to process a loss of this magnitude, right? An uncle or a grandfather is still important losses, but a mother, and especially when you have a video of him calling his mom on the field after they've won the championship, he was close to his mom. He was close to his mom.
Yeah, but I think you leave it up to him,
Yeah,
Alfredo.
no, you
I
do.
think
You leave it up to him, but I think
I think every individual is different. I think, look, you played, I played, and the one place in the world where, with all due respect, the love for mom and everything, right? It doesn't come into play is when you're playing on the field because your mind is so full, like you're into the game, you're not really thinking about anything else. And again, it's individual. Like you look at a guy like Brett Favre who lost his dad, and the same day he went out there, not the greatest game of his career, some would say, right? You've had players that
without a
just
doubt.
they want to be on the field because it helps them deal with the situation. Now, as you said, he's a youngster. We don't know how he's going to react, but I think I think Rui Costa, I think the team is really going to leave it up to him. I don't think anyone's going to tell him he has to play or he doesn't have to play.
Yeah.
They'll tell a kid, whatever you want to do, we'll support you 100%. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there, just like I would not be surprised if he's not even there.
Yeah. And look,
I think it's one of those things you handle with kid gloves.
Yeah, no pun intended. Look, if he has to travel on the private jet like Rui Pedro Braz does all the time, so be it. To join the team in France a little later in the day, so he doesn't miss his mom's funeral. That's fine. Just reading some stuff here. Nuno M. My opinion is our weakness is playing with João Mario and Di Maria on the wings. They can't press, and that hurts us defensively. Also, Kokshu is playing out of position. He is not to work that hard in defense. Valid points. My SLB, my opinion, is not playing Florentino, who isn't having a great season, and playing Kokshu, who also isn't playing up to the hype. So a lot of good comments here. Diogo Reis says João Mario was actually pretty good against Vizela, and we'll get into that game shortly here. And this means he's 100% playing in France, especially with
even Tinkstad was good against Vizela. We'll get into that. Even Tinkstad was good against Vizela.
Yeah, Jason Gaidola saying João Mario is only good in Liga games, and it's not consistent either. It's. Let's get into that Vizela game because I got some opinions that you guys that I would like to run by you guys. So Benfica was back in action for the championship this past Sunday, hosting Vizela. Third time that Benfica has played Vizela this year. Truben was in goal. Ba, Araújo, Otamendi, Muratu, Neves and João Mario in the middle, Neres, Gouveia, Rafa, and Tankstead. And quite a more than half the team was changed here. We found out about Antonio Silva, that his grandfather had passed away. So Araújo was in there. Muratu got the nod at left. In the middle, both Kokshu and Tino were serving yellow card suspensions. So João Mario got the nod in the middle along with Neves. Di Maria coming off a Thursday game. Figured it'd be a good chance to give Neres minutes and rest Di Maria. And then on the other side, Gouveia was on the left, Rafa behind Tankstead. And look, I understand what Nuno was saying. And you look at this team and you watch this game and you watch how Benfica started with the high pressing high, forcing mistakes by the opponent's defenders. I get it. Neres can press, Rafa can press, Tankstead can press, Gouveia can press. When you have a front line of João Mario, Di Maria, Rafa, and Cabral, right? When you have those four guys, only one guy out of those four is able to press because he has speed, which is Rafa. Everyone else, you kind of, and when you have that group of players, you can't have just one side press and the other side not press, because all your pressing timings are going to be off. So if you know that Di Maria doesn't have the legs to press, he's never been a player to press, and this speaks to what Cristiano was saying before, that Di Maria is a difference maker, is not a guy that's going to help you on defense. If you're waiting for him to help you on defense, then you got another thing coming. But certainly these four guys allowed Benfica to be able to bring back that style, high press, forcing the errors. But I get it. I get it. So you know, and it was just something.
Bro, my point is, when you guys, when any Freddy's, us, when anyone listening goes to a Michelin star restaurant, you don't want the dishwasher cooking your steak, right? Everybody's got a job to do. You know what I'm saying? You got the chef that gets all the credit, but all he does is just sit there, right? Tells people what to do. The other guys are really doing all the cooking, right? Everybody has a role. And not everybody on the soccer field can do the same thing. And so some guys are going to track back. Some guys are going to defend. So as long as it's not hurting the team, right, to where his difference on the offensive side is not making the difference on the, you know, what he adds on the offensive side is giving you less than what the team is getting on the defensive side of the ball in terms of hurting more.
I get
like,
it.
Then I might understand. But bro, like, it's Di Maria. It's these guys. These guys are the reason why you go to a stadium. You don't go to a stadium to see João Mario. 60,000 to go to see João Mario. It's the Di Marias of this world. You need everybody in conjunction to have a successful team, man. And I think that everybody's just so caught up that, bro, these guys are difference makers. Let them play. And
yeah, you just adapt. You just adapt a different style. You can't ask Di Maria to press, so you're not going to engage in a high press with those four guys. So guess what? You're just going to have to adapt. But real quick on the game rotation, as I mentioned, I thought that this could have been a good game to give Carreras some more minutes. And why isn't Marcos Leonardo ready to start yet? I mean, is he that out of shape, or is he that out of sync, or out of touch in terms of what the team's dynamics are? I don't know. But he said that thanks to that had been working well in practice. He came back from injury. He'd been working well, so he figured he'd give him some minutes. Hey, kudos to him for giving Tankstead. O cavalo passa a porta, todos, né, Cristiano?
Yep.
But just recapping the first half, 16 minutes, 1-0 Neres off a Tankstead assist. 25th minute, 2-0 Otamendi off of a Neres assist. 30th minute, 3-0 Gouveia unassisted after the ball hit off the post. In the 40-plus, 4-0 Neres off a half assist, and Benfica would close out the first half with his fifth goal, this time Rafa off of a Tankstead assist. So, like I said,
that all really happened in a 30-minute span, because the first 15, 16, 17 minutes,
good.
It was a yawn fest. It was like,
it wasn't
another one
good.
of these games. Yeah, it wasn't. And then they turn it on. So
the
last half hour, that first half was just, they were flying.
Yeah.
And by the way, Alfredo, give the guy some credit. When you say Gouveia scored off unassisted off a post,
put himself in a position
by a beautiful. No, forget him. I think he's overrated, but I'll get into that in a second. But give the guy Tankstead credit. It was the nicest finish he's had in a while.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, hit the post.
And he didn't hit off of anybody.
And then Gouveia, and then that was Musa style. And then Gouveia was there to clean it up. But yeah, give Tankstead some credit, Alfredo. Don't let the people wonder, well, how the ball hit the post. You got to tell the story.
To be perfectly honest, I didn't know who shot it. I couldn't remember it. I don't know if it was Rafa Tankstead.
Tankstead lefty, picked opposite corner.
Yeah.
And he hit off the post. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as I mentioned, high press from Benfica makes a lot of difference, right? Suffocating Vizela, keeping Vizela in their own half, and then continue coming at them constantly. But you have also, it can't be all ball possession. You have to create, and there were some things there. Coming out of the second half, up by five. Di Maria in a halftime substitution. Di Maria comes in for Rafa in a substitution that left everybody wondering, what is he thinking? I mean, why not
Alfredo,
give
Elder Conduto said in like 31st or 30, whatever, in the 30, sometime in the 30th minute mark. He says, "You're going to Di Maria, okay, sit." I'm like, what?
No,
I'm
but
like,
they always warm up players throughout the first half. That's
exact,
customary.
but that's what even that was crazy.
But it
But I
was
was like,
worth mentioning by Conduto.
but I was praying, right? That I was and Alfredo, you're wrong. I'm right, right? I was praying that it was just everybody warms up all the time, right?
Right.
But no, Alfredo, this mother, he had this guy warm up to actually come in a game that you should have at halftime. You should have been taking out Di Maria. You should have taken out Otamendi, put Morato in the middle, bring in Carreras, put him at left back. These are the types of moves you should have been doing. Taking out Arsenal. Arsenal was on the bench already. I'm sorry. Taking out the guys, the older guys, giving them a day off. And Dave, this is the criticism I was talking to you about. And I just don't understand what the hell this coach is thinking.
Yeah.
Why is he overcomplicating things? Imagine, Dave, if you want to defend this guy. I'm going to do this like the little kid, the 8-year-old. Dave, put your hands in your pockets and dream and imagine. Then Di Maria comes into this game in a 5-0 game, or even a 5-1 game at the time, right? Because the other team scored a goal to pull one back real soon into the second half. But imagine Di Maria now picks up an injury, and now he's unavailable for Toulouse.
Yep.
He's unavailable for Porto. He's unavailable for Sport.
Yep.
Think about what necessity did you forget about, Dave? Forget about the fact that Di Maria is.
Why is he talking to you, Dave?
Because I'm ready. I'm ready to defend.
Oh,
We are
okay.
nitpicking something. We are nitpicking here. We're living in fantasy. What if he picked
I
up
was
an injury?
wondering why he was talking to you. I
What
thought he
if-
was just talking in
What
general.
if an asteroid came and hit the stadium and we had to suspend the stadium? We're talking about hypotheticals here. That
No,
It's
Dave,
not a
it's not really
hypothetical.
hypothetical.
The
There's a
dude is-
high chance,
the
bro.
dude's- Yeah, he's 36 years old. He's burnt out. He's
Played a
tired.
game
And
on Thursday.
That game against Toulouse, bro, he was there.
Played a
just
whole
to be there.
game against Toulouse.
He was just there just to be there. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, Dave, there are substitutions in a football match that need to be made. And then there's substitutions that you avoid at all costs. And this substitution, bringing in a Di Maria, bringing in an Arsenal, and doing all this nonsense, and granted, Dave, I'm going to give you one here, okay? We were minus Koksu and Tino because of yellow card accumulation. So his options were limited, but I still think he could have done without, especially without Di Maria. He could have taken out,
I agree.
what's his name, Otamendi, who's played every second, it seems like, of every game.
Slid
Again,
Morata to
bringing
the-
Morato into the middle, Carreras on the left.
Yep.
And then, like, the substitutions he makes, man, annoys me. It's a 5-1, 6-1, 5-1. And then he waits till it's 6-1, and he's bringing in Rollheiser in the 89th minute. And I swear to God, I'll send you guys, I'll post it on Twitter if you guys want. Me and Hugo were talking about during the game about the players on the bench, and I said, watch him bring them in the 89th minute. And God damn it, he did it. And it makes no
It's just
sense.
too predictable.
What's he doing? What's he doing?
It's
I mean,
predictable.
how are you? Explain to me, Dave, and I promise I will be quiet after this, and I will pass on the mic to you because I've done too much talking today. Dave, explain to me, how is it beneficial to a player like Rollheiser? What are you really doing to this player? You're not developing him. You're not adapting. What are you doing besides getting him a game bonus? He played in the game. So he's getting a bonus.
He must not have the trust in these players
Yeah.
yet to go in,
No, it's just
even in a 5-1. He must not have the trust. That's all. If I've got to defend him, he's not gonna. He probably doesn't have the trust.
I
Said
don't
the
know,
same
Dave.
about Prestiani, that he only made the squad because of the lack of support
players, right?
there with the lack of players. So he made the squad just
Yeah.
by default.
He
basically
wasn't.
there,
He
so.
wasn't scheduled.
Bro,
He was
hold
never
on,
planned
hold on
for
a
him to
second.
play.
But hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me reel this back. You're gonna tell me that a coach who puts a stamp of approval on a player acquisition that they actually paid an additional $500,000 to make sure he came in now, rather than in the summer. So you're gonna tell me that a coach stamped this acquisition, and then you tell me that he doesn't have trust in him in a 5-1 game? I mean, Jesus, dude, this is
You talking about
system's
Presti or
fucked
you
up.
talking about Rollheiser?
Rollheiser, Alfredo.
Okay.
Rollheiser. They paid an additional $500 to bring him in now.
Yeah.
If you don't have trust, if I'm your player and I sit there on the bench, and you don't use me in a 5-1 because of a lack of trust, coach, you've lost me. You've lost me.
It sounds like he's already been lost, so he's not. You can't reel him in,
Yeah,
Chris.
I just I think that
I
there's
I
a
still can't believe that we're nitpicking things in a
no,
6-1. You would have thought we lost here
no,
6-1.
Dave. I think it's a culmination of things that have gone on these past couple months, and I think
No, but
that
Alfredo, Dave, a coach's job is not obviously winning game is the end all be all, right? But a coach's job, that's why if you pay attention nowadays in the English term, it's no longer a coach. It's called a manager because he's there to manage a team, manage players. It's not just coach. Because at the end of the day, and for those of you that have never been to a professional team's practice, but a coach does nothing. He sits there with his hands in his balls and blows a whistle. It's his assistants that do it all. Coach
Yep.
doesn't even do that. And then even the scheme he comes up with, he's talking to his assistants. Right? He has the final word. But at the end of the day, the coach has to manage and rotate players. And so he gets to say yes or no on player acquisition. He gets to say who makes the day roster, game roster. And then you don't use players because, quote, you don't trust them in a 5-1 game? Coach, my man, you're getting this all wrong. And Dave, it's not nitpicking. Is that there is more to the job. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Dave? And you know this, and you're no dummy. I'm not trying to talk to you like you're dumb, and I apologize if you're taking it that way because it's not the way I'm trying to come out. But Dave, you know what I'm saying, right?
I'm not taking it that way. I just think it's we always have something to pick on with Roger. If it's not 6-1, I felt there was more criticism in that Toulouse game than in this
but Dave,
Vizela game. But
Di Maria doesn't need to play this game, dude.
he doesn't need to play. But then again, if we're talking about managing, maybe Roger's managing his ego. Maybe you know that behind the scenes, Di Maria is.
Di Maria is smarter than that, bro. Di Maria would welcome. He would welcome the change. He would welcome the rest. To be honest with you.
No say, Alfred. Alfred, that listen, I gotta kind of like not defend Dave, but I kind of like gotta put myself in the neutral position here, and I don't know. I can't. I don't know that for a fact. I think Di Maria is the type of guy that wants to play a lot, but at the end of the day, look. Di Maria can't be making the call. The coach has to make
absolutely.
this call. You're 36 years old. You're coming off a World Cup. You haven't had much break here, okay? You've played a lot of football over the last 12 months. We need you fresh for these crucial games that are coming up. The coach has to be the cool head, not the player.
Yeah.
Because every player wants to play. You ask Di Maria, you ask Otamendi, bro, you ask David Neres, you ask freaking the worst player on this roster, and they'll tell you, I want to play every second of every single game.
Yeah, I get it.
But that's not their job. It's the coach's job to say no. The coach has to be the smart. He has to be the one thinking 2, 3, 4 games ahead. It's not the players. The players are worried about now.
Yeah, let me just recap the rest of this game so we can move on. I think that Dave dropped off. That internet in Canada is acting up again. 5-1. In the 48th minute, so they clawed one back off a Trubin clearance that hit a player's back, and they were able to recover. In the 66th minute, Auschnitz came in for João Neves. In the 71st minute, Trubin saved the PK. He now has 3 PKs, and I think that that's a record for the season where he ties some significant names in Benfica's goal by saving 3 PKs in one season. 76th minute, Leonardo came in for Tankstead. In the 88th minute, Leonardo off of a Neres feed put the finishing touches on the scoreboard. 6-1 for Benfica. And then, as we have been mentioning, 89th minute, Carreras comes in for Gouveia, and Rollheiser comes in for Neres in the 89th minute. And look, I'm with you, Chris. If I'm a player and I'm being brought in the 89th minute, you have to think, is this guy effing kidding me? But the thing is that I saw something on media, and I think I think João Mário was on he did an interview or a podcast wherever it was, and
he did an interview with what's his name? Oh my God,
Pedro Pinto.
Pedro Pinto.
Yeah, he had.
Yes, that was like 11 Sports.
Yeah, he had great things to say about Schmidt in terms of a coach, in terms of a manager, in terms of a person. So, which leads me to believe that there's a relationship between the coach and the players in a way that
I knew then.
Espera aí,
That's
pá,
why he
deixa
plays
acabar.
every second.
Deixa acabar. So there's a relationship, and there's a lot of conversations, I'm sure. If players hold him in that regard in terms of him, the human being that he is, the manager that he is, there's obviously conversations. Is it acceptable for a player to come in the 89th minute? I think it's a waste, especially when you're winning 5-0 at the half. Why not get these guys some burn? Get these guys from repetition. So I don't know if players take it the wrong way. It all depends on what kind of relationship they have with Schmidt. It all depends on what kind of communication they've had with Schmidt. It all depends on what promises have been made by Schmidt. Schmidt could have said, "Hey, I'm gonna put you in 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, and we'll get you there. We'll get you." Look, I don't know, but to me, Di Maria didn't need to play. Carreras could have been getting a lot more minutes. Rollheiser, if he's an option off the bench and he counts on him, Rollheiser should have been getting more minutes. Marcus Leonard should have been getting more minutes. And then you rest the guys that you need to rest. So I just, it's and I know, Dave, I know your angle, we're nitpicking at 6-1, but it's just things that we've been seeing from Roger Schmidt over and over and over and over and over again. And like you said, regardless of what I do, I'm always going to be criticized because that's what we do. As Benfica fans, our expectations are very high. And, we question things that don't make sense to us. I think that's a natural reaction that any fan that understands half a lick of football is going to say. So anyway, second half wasn't as good as the first.
But Alfredo, but hold on. I was quiet because I was waiting for Dave to jump in, but he didn't, so I'll jump in. When you say that, maybe the promises he's made to play him will bring you 2 minutes here, too. Bro, that's what you do with an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old kid that's just coming from the B team, and you're like, bye, and he's just happy to be there, right? And it's 5-1, 6-1. He's like, hey, I just get to get in, and that's cool. I may never play on this team, so I don't care. I'm playing. But not when you're trying to develop a guy that is going to be a key part of your team next year because Rafa's not coming back. Di Maria most likely not come back. So this guy is expected to be one of your key guys next year. You have an obligation to develop this kid.
Chris,
this
I can't say with certainty that that's what happened. In the same way that you can't say with certainty that he's...
What do you mean what happened? What do you mean what happened? When you say you can't say
that he's not having conversations with these players that he would normally have with an 18-year-old. I can't say that for sure, that those conversations don't happen. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors at the Seychelles. We'd like to think
that's
that
where
we
the
know.
But Alfredo, but that's where the criticism comes in, buddy. Right? You're leading right into my trap, which is that's where the expectations and the common sense, right? We criticize because, again, when you spend $9.5 million on a player, you're not treating that kid like he's an 18-year-old that's just making an appearance here and there.
You don't know
you understand?
That.
It's common sense.
Dave,
it's not.
Chris,
it's
you don't know that.
Sense.
You don't know that. We don't know that.
Bro. Then we don't know. Then for that, close up the podcast because we don't know nothing. We're just here. We're here talking about.
But apparently, is what Schmidt has been leading us to believe is that we don't know shit, and he knows everything.
Okay, but again, Dave says we're nitpicking. We're not nitpicking. We're criticizing common sense here.
Yeah, well that's what we are.
Common sense leads you to believe that the play again. What any normal coach would do is you bring in your least used players to get more experience,
correct,
right? And to get adapt, especially a guy that just came from Argentina. But he's doing the opposite. So again, obviously, we don't know nothing.
No.
We're just all here speculating and giving our opinion. I'm giving my opinion.
Right. We're just speculating because we don't know the other side. So we could sit here and speculate and using our own logic of what we know about football, about some of the experiences that we've had. But we can't say for certain what kind of conversations are going on, what relationships he has with players, how players, and what kind of regard he's held by players. We don't know any of that. We don't know. We're going blind by what we feel is the logic, when the logic may be something else. And this is just me playing devil's advocate, Chris, because I'm on your side. I understand.
Dave, I got you, Alfredo. I got you. Dave, did Roger Schmidt take over your Sferovic soft side? Is that your new?
I guess, yeah. There's got to be somebody I got to defend on here, so I'll take the arrows for Roger.
We love you, Dave. That's what makes a podcast great. We can't have everybody agreeing on the same thing. So bring it on, brother. It's fun and games. Let's go. That's what the people here. The Freddies tune in because they want to hear our opinion. So Dave, you're entitled to your opinion. We love you, and look, at the end of the day, and when you look at paper, I'm the crazy one. You're the one that's right. So it is what it is. You're winning games. That's it. That's all that matters. Everything else is noise.
Zach is saying Austin's really pissing me off. I don't know why a utility player is being used as a starter. I know somebody that has been thinking that for the past 3 months.
Dave, Alfredo, I swear to God,
I know.
I'm not Zach. I did not write that. I swear to God, that's not me. I swear to God, that's not me.
I know you have similar feelings, and it may be the unpopular opinion, but there's logic. There's logic to your opinion.
I don't go as far as Zach and call my man a scrub, but I just think you treat the guy like a superstar, and at the end of the day, he's not a difference maker. He's an addition to a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
He makes it tick. He's not the guy that's going to be over there making, the difference between 3 points or not. So
right.
I think he gets put on a pedestal that he doesn't deserve to be in. And again, nothing against the players. He's a really good player, but that's all it is. He is not, the guy that you build around.
Dave,
he's a piece.
Stats so we can move on. We got to rein in Cristiano. It's getting late.
We spoke about all these goals that we scored, and we didn't even mention our boy Trubin there with his third penalty save. Could have made it 5-2 at that time if the goal had gone in, but saved a penalty there to keep it with only the one goal conceded. Did you know that's already his third penalty save of this season? It took him 7 months to save 3 penalties, and it took Vlaco Dimos 5 years to save 4 penalties. So Trubin's on a much better path here than Vlaco.
Don't do that, Dave. Dave, don't do that. I'm still getting
Did I just jinx it? Did I just jinx it now?
No, I got hate for years because I used to call Vlaco Dimos. I said he's a really nice person. And again, going back to that João Mario stuff about now I know why João Mario plays because he's blowing the coach left and right. But Vlaco Dimos is similar. Vlaco Dimos is look. I like the dude. Dealt with him off the field. He's a really nice guy, but on the field, I was vocal about it, and Dave, I got a lot of hate, so I suggest don't say anything like that because your 87DO87 account is going to get flooded. Sorry, did I just give out your handle? My bad, Dave.
That's it. No,
it's
no worries.
Right on the screen,
bring on all the Vlaco hate. I'm not taking any arrows for that.
I think Nottingham Forest right now feels our pain. I think every time he plays, it's 5 in the back of the net for sure.
No, he's never gonna. Unless the other 2 keepers ahead of him go down injured. He's not touching the pitch the rest of the.
Matt Turner, the American, he took the American spot, and I think he got it back right because Vlaco didn't.
No, they went in. They went and bought another keeper in the winter transfer market. So
they spent. So they spent $11 million on Turner. They spent $10 million on Vlaco, and then they said so they're pulling the Roger Schmidt left back situation, right? It's the same thing. We're just gonna keep buying players until we get one right.
All right. Let's start bringing this in. Benfica will play Portimonense this coming Sunday, 1 p.m. Portimonense. What's Portimonense up to these days, Dave?
This season, they're currently in 13th with 22 points from 6 wins, 4 draws, 12 defeats. Coming in 1 win, 1 draw, 3 defeats in their last 5. Historically, 40 wins, 9 draws, 2 defeats in the previous 51 meetings. Last 5, 4 wins and 1 defeat coming back in October 2021.
Yeah. And Malgatius is saying Cristiano is only proven right when a player leaves the club. Before then, he's wrong. Now, and look, to his defense, and I've admitted this to Cristiano, I don't have a problem in admitting this publicly. There's a lot of things that Cristiano is tá 10 anos à frente, like Luis Felipe Vieira. He's 10 years ahead of everyone. And I've told him that. I've told him, Cristiano,
don't compare me to that guy. I don't want to wind up in jail.
I was going to say, keep him away from the light.
I was going to say, Cristiano, you were right. 3 months ago, you said this, and you're right. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that Cristiano...
Few things. I say some crazy things.
Regardless of how he gets there and how he expresses himself when he's talking about those things, because sometimes these things are kind of like idea prototypes or opinion prototypes. Think about the BMW when they put out these concept cars. And that's what Cristiano does. He'll call me up, and we're talking about something, I have this opinion about this guy, and I know that a lot of people see this, and I might get a lot of hate for it, but this is what I feel. And then 2-3 months down the road, sure enough, everything lines up really nice for Cristiano.
Sabes como é que dizem na minha terra? Quem sabe, sabe.
Quem sabe. Quem não sabe, pois.
That's it. No, I'm joking.
Portuguese porn capital of the world.
My boy Diogo still. So we have to mention Vlaco Dimos every podcast.
Every time.
Yes, Diogo. And now because we know it annoys you, Vlaco Dimos. I'm going to mention it every time. Every more. Yep, exactly.
The Vlaco Dimos moment. Anyway, tricky game against Portimonense. Portimonense is already... I think they gave Porto a tough game, and also Braga, if I'm not mistaken.
No chance they gave Porto a tough game. Please
Dave, look that up. Look at the past results from Portimonense against both Braga, Sporting, and Porto. Let me know.
You guys recall that Portimonense game in Portimonense where they were
Jackson
all defending
Martinez?
the first post? No. I'm not even talking about that. But remember, they were defending. They were all defending like I don't know what the hell. They left the whole team behind them on mark.
They're not called Portimonense for nothing. Dave, you got him?
They Porto beat them only 1-0.
Yeah, that was close.
Dragão. They lost 6-1 to Braga. What did they do to Sporting? Sporting, they lost 2-1 to Sporting. So,
right.
And Sporting left it late though.
Yeah.
If we want to keep it tough.
Look, I think it's going to be a tricky game as all games have been. We are at Toulouse, right, Dave? Or are we away?
Yeah, we're at home.
Yeah, we're at home against Portimonense. So Vizela at home. And then Portimonense also.
Why back to back? Why back to back?
I don't know. There's a weird thing that both in the first half of the season and the second season, there's a couple games that we get back to back games at Toulouse. I don't know how that works out. Scheduling things, you know how that works.
Oh, that's good. I mean, then we go but it's different competition.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna say then we go 2 games in a row, but it's different competition.
Yeah.
So.
Lastly, I just want to mention the young kid Diogo Ribeiro, the swimmer, for being a world champion on the 50-meter and 100-meter butterfly. Christian, do you know how to swim butterfly style?
Bro, I'm the best at sinking. World champ.
World champ. Sinking world champ.
Everything else.
I
actually learned how to float not too long ago.
Gafanha de Nazaré, bro. You should be like an elite swimmer, bro.
Bro, have you seen those waves, bro? You can't.
Yeah, those waves are crazy.
Estás maluco. E a água fria. Estás maluco. Aquilo não dá, pá. Eu sou mais do Sandy Hook, you know what I mean? Do Nazaré.
Yeah.
Sandy Hook Beach. But no, I'm not a world I'm not a good swimmer. Enough to save my life, but if you're drowning next to me, that's fuzzy. Sorry, bro.
Don't count on you for sure.
Yeah,
not even as a flotation device.
No, that I could do. But
anyway,
yeah, we'll both be sinking. The boat be sinking.
Huge wins for Portuguese swimming. I don't think we've ever had any titles of that type. And I know that these are the World Championships. Olympics are usually much tougher. But at 19, and understanding that I was watching some interview with him, and understand.
But why is the Olympics tough? Well, I guess because USA, right? But aren't USA swimmers in the world? Because I mean, world. I get so confused nowadays with these world titles.
There's
because world, right?
Yeah, there's a different preparation for the Olympics as there is for World Championships.
What, they do more steroids? That's the preparation.
No, it's just it's a competition that happens every 4 years, and I think that the athletes have a program that they follow to reach the Olympics at tip-top shape. This thing in Doha, and when is the next Olympics? Next year, Dave? I think it's next year
in the States, right? Isn't it still Paris?
Wait,
Paris.
what's
Paris,
the Olympics
Paris.
this year? Is it already?
No, I think the Olympics
Paris,
is next
right,
year.
It's this. No, it's 2024. This July.
Yeah, in Paris, right? Dave?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
So I think that there's programs that you kind of follow. I don't know if all the elite
So you saying this
swimmers
kid
was
has
in
no
Doha.
chance?
No, I'm not saying that he hasn't had a chance, because both at the junior level he's dominated, and now he's dominated at the world senior level, if you want to call it.
Does
in these
anybody know,
championships.
Dave? Do you know if American swimmers participate in
I'm
the World
sure they did.
Championships?
I'm
He
sure
finished. They beat the American finished second.
Yeah, I'm sure
So this
I'm
kid's
sure
got a
they
legit
do.
shot then.
No, he
I mean,
does.
he's got a legit shot.
He does he has a legit shot. He's 19. As I mentioned in his interview, he knows that he still has some certain areas of his technique that he needs to work on. The entry into the pool, he still needs to work on that. So at 19, he still has a large margin of progression. And if he could be a world champion at the World Championships, I think it makes him a good candidate to be a medalist in the Olympics. So I'm hoping for that. Portugal doesn't have too many medals, as you guys know. So it'll be something interesting. Rosa Mota, Carlos Lopes.
But 84,
But,
right, or 88? I don't even remember.
It was
But why didn't
LA.
88.
why didn't Roger put him in the 60th minute? That's what I want to know.
Who?
The swimmer.
Hey, Dave, because he's only good in the last 50 meters.
That's
So
it.
maybe
They'll bring him on the
90 plus
89th
5.
then.
90 plus 5. You would have been good. Anyway,
Bro, our podcast is really, we go from rocks on ice to swim. We cover everything.
Rocks
man.
on ice.
We'll give you a good landscape.
The curling.
Curling.
The stones.
Dave, have you been paying attention? Have you been rocks, stones, same thing. Dave, have you been keeping up with our Portuguese Canadians?
I haven't been following them too closely, but I have them on a couple of social medias on Facebook and Twitter, so I gotta take a peek and see what they're up to.
Okay. All right, that's all you got. That's all we got for you tonight. Next week we'll be back. We'll recap this Toulouse game and also the Portimonense game, and look ahead to a very, very, very crucial period in Benfica season, where they will be playing Sporting a couple times. One of them for the Portuguese Cup, and we'll have.
And then we play Porto right after them.
Yeah, we
for
play
the league.
Porto. Yeah, that's right. And we play Sporting right after Porto, if I'm not mistaken. All right, guys. Thank you very much for checking us out. We'll see you again next week. Thank you, all the Freddies that were in the chat. Thank you, everyone that's going to listen to this a little later. We appreciate you tremendously. Have a great one. Later.